So it just drops it down. It's like, here's like what we found. Most of the time, it's right, and it's the information I needed. So then I'm like, okay, but then that means I'm not clicking on the links underneath it. So then these people are not getting, their clicks and their credit for their information. So I'm like,
my name is Angela Shea, the founder of Social Templates Co., and you're listening to the Workflows Photography Podcast.
I am very excited about this conversation with Michelle Harris. If you are listening to the show and you don't know who Michelle is, just check out the show notes. Click on that and you'll learn all about Michelle and see her link to her website where you can check out her work, her education, and all of that fun stuff. So, Michelle, I'm glad to finally get you on the Workflows Photography Podcast, and I can't wait to hear all of the insights that you have to share.
I am really excited. I think everything's in perfect timing. Everything is going really well. I think it's perfect timing that we are doing this now that I've moved and am settled. So I'm excited to talk about all the things.
Yeah. Well, I have my typical questions that I ask to guests for the full Workflows episodes, but I'm going to throw a little twist in here because you just said something very important that not every photographer has to experience, but when they do, they worry about something, and that is, how do you handle keeping your business going and keeping the bookings going as the level you need and want when you move? Not just a little move. You didn't move from like town to town. You moved.
Yeah.
What, 3 states away? Something like that.
Yeah.
So how are you handling? Because you're still handling. It's only been 2 weeks. How are you handling that process?
So I feel like other people would be able to do it a little bit more gracefully than I did because I just up and was like, you know what? I'm moving. And so it just has all been like falling into place really quickly though. The good thing is I've always been destination. So it's not like I've never done a wedding in Atlanta before. I've been down here, I've done weddings. I know planners, I know makeup artists. I know people here. So luckily as soon as I announced I was down here, I just put it out there that I was available for second shooting step 1. Because I'm like, I want to be able to go to these venues and, meet with planners, people, like all the vendors without having to stress myself out about like booking weddings right this moment. But I'm also about to announce this big, huge sale thing that I'm doing, like this big promotion now that I'm here. And I'm just going to throw everything at it. So it's not even just like I shoot weddings mainly, but I also do family and I also do boudoir. So I'm like, I'm just going to throw everything out. Hey, I'm available for this and this and this, and I'm just going to keep doing it and then fill up my calendar. But before I did that, I made sure to cross off all the weekends that I would be going back to my original area in DC so that when my clients wouldn't have freaking conniptions thinking that like I'm just dropping off the face of the earth. Yeah. But that way I was able to send them the weekends that I'd be there for like the fall or the Christmas dates and different stuff like that before even really like announcing that I moved so that they didn't freak out. So, but having that in place makes it also easy for me to be like, okay, these are the weekends I'm going back. And so this is all the time that I have here. So it makes it really easy for me to separate the two. And then like people are always concerned about, oh, well, if I only do these certain dates, like people might not be available, then what? And it's like, then they make themselves available, step 1, if they really want to shoot. And they appreciate it more when they know that you are, states and states away and, oh, my photographer's flying back so she can do our family session. Like, it's not a bad thing. It actually is a good, positive thing. So it's just a matter of mindset as well.
Yeah. Showing that you're willing to make new travel plans for those who were local to where you were to get back there for their days. And being, you being flexible, having them be flexible, is definitely a nice benefit to like just showing like how much you care, right? Showing that you're able to do what you need to make sure everybody's happy. And I was not expecting you to say that you were going to second shoot to others, but for others. But I mean, it's a good idea to start getting a feel for how things work in the new area. So it's a very good idea. So have you done a second shoot job
So
since you've been there?
I have done 2 associate shooting jobs though since I've been
Okay.
here. So it just kind of works out where I'm like, I'm available. Like, oh, well, why don't you just go shoot this for me? And it has worked out that way. But I
Okay.
have noticed that people are just kind of like, you'll second shoot? Like, first of all, like, people do you not understand the joys of second shooting. Like,
Oh yeah.
what?
A
I
lot
just
less
get to go
pressure.
shoot the guys and then just like mosey on through the day without as much pressure. You want me to go shoot details? No problem. You got the family photos? Okay, I'll be back. Like, I
Yeah.
love second shooting. So
Yeah.
I'm all for it. And then
Yeah.
I don't have to edit at all. Like, I know Imagine makes our lives easier, but it's even easier if you don't have to do it at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, so let's talk about you just mentioned like shooting the family or shooting, detail photos, things like that. So let's talk about one thing you do during the photographic process. You've got the camera in your hand. What is one thing you do for the photographic process that saves you time?
Like, you mean like during weddings, like family portraits, that type of thing, or just in general?
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah. Yeah. In the typical work that you do. Yep.
I'm very straightforward just in life as a human. So I make sure that I am very organized when it comes to people's names for like family formals. I don't want, me and my cousins, me and like no, I need to know every single cousin's name. If you know their names because you want them in the pictures. If you don't remember the names, they probably don't need to be in there. So I make them give me a very, very detailed list, and I stick to it. Like, if they want to add things later or like, freestyle later, they can do that. But I'm going to do this list first. And that helps me, one, combat family members who want to add their own stuff and add their own people in and stuff like that. Cause I'm like, look, I'm sticking to this list that they gave me and just run down it. It really makes things go faster by having people's names to call instead of just, bride's side of the family. And just waiting until they say that everyone's there, and then they realize later that they left somebody at cocktail hour. And then that way I just run right through it. But I mean, also I have a strategic plan for almost every single part of the wedding day ahead of time. So if I went through everything that I do to make things quick, we'd be on here for hours.
Yeah, yeah. Are you because everybody's different when it comes to this, are you a printed piece of paper for the list of people, or are you a type of person, or are you a have the list on my phone type of person, or on an Apple Watch type of person? What's your go-to for that?
My go-to is on my phone because I make it my, what do you call it, background screen. So that I just have to tap and then I can see it. Because I don't even want to have to, swipe up, hope it sees my face, maybe I got to type it. No, like, it's right there. So I make the timeline, the background for most of the day, and then I will make the family list the background for the other parts.
Nice. Yeah, I started doing that at trade shows like WPPI and Imaging. I started doing that, but like in like a business card form, because I don't have physical business. I mean, not many. I don't think it's still super popular to have physical business cards. So I started taking my lock screen and making it the business card, so that people could just take a picture of my lock screen. So I think that's a really good idea to just utilize something that is real quick to just, show what you need to for yourself or for others at any given point. So it's a good idea.
Yeah, and one of the best things Apple ever did was allow you to have multiple background screens available. Like, you can just switch through them. The day before, you can set up the timeline and the family list long ahead of time.
Yep, 100%. That's a tip that has never come up on the show before. So that's so good, so good. Okay, now one thing I know that you enjoy talking about is business. So what is one thing you do for the business that either saves you time or money?
Okay, this is going to sound extremely sponsored because I still feel.
Let's not talk about Imagine, because we're going to get to Imagine.
All right. So one thing that saves me time, you said, or money.
Yep.
I think that when it comes to time, the number one thing that I love is that I can set my entire wedding in different folders to upload at the exact same time on CloudSpot. That saves a lot of time, just being able to just select the folders and it'll like upload the one folder, then go to the next. Like I can just literally just sit my computer there. And when I tell you, that saves me a lot of time because I can do all different other things while that's happening.
Yeah. And it's organizing it in the same folders on their system so that you don't have to order things. Everything's just done the way that you want it.
Yeah, because what I do is when I call everything, I put them in specific folders. So it'll say like, getting ready, whatever, and it's in those folders. And so then I export them into the folder in those folders. And it just takes those folders and uploads them straight into CloudSpot. They're already labeled exactly what they are. They're already in order, and they have exactly what is supposed to be in there.
Nice.
So it works out great.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good one as well. So again, let's try to avoid Imagen for a little bit because we're going to get there. But when it comes to editing, what is one thing that you do for editing? And this could be pre-Imagen if you want. Something that you do for editing that saves you time.
Something I do. Scott, you're killing me, man. Like I don't.
For example,
I don't do anything.
Are you?
Nope.
Are you a tablet type person?
I am
or something
not.
like that.
I'm not. I put my memory cards right in my MacBook Pro, and that's that. Like I don't, I'm not a Kelvin person, so like I don't concern myself with the white balance because I don't have to anymore. I know you want me not to talk about Imagen. Like I don't think you understand how much. Like Imagen changed my life, and I don't worry about none of that. And like before then, like I still didn't do like so much Kelvin, but I was also making my life harder by not doing that when I didn't have a system to just fix my white balance for me. But I felt that I would be fumbling around too much trying to move the Kelvin around. I never got into the groove of that. Yeah. So I just was like, I'll fix it later. I was the queen of I'll fix it later. And now I personally don't have to.
You were also outsourcing before Imagen. So you were still outsourcing to other, whether it was, to another company. So, that in itself was saving you time even before Imagen, just taking that off your plate so you could focus on the other stuff. Now it's just the turnaround times are better and the consistency is there and all that fun stuff. So
these things are understatements, what you just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
7 days
we'll get there.
in 30 minutes, we are not the same.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so you just shot a wedding, right? You've edited the wedding. Everything is good to go. Now, what is one thing you do after a session, after a wedding, whether it's a family session or a wedding, that has increased business?
After. Okay, so I don't know that after the things I do after have increased business, but what I can tell you is what I do during the wedding has absolutely always increased my business for like the last 5 years. I've been doing it straight, which are same day slideshows. And people don't understand how simple same day slideshows can be. And it just freaks people out and it stresses them out. But like, as long as you have a solid second shooter where you trust them, because like you got to do it while you're eating. So like you have to trust them to do things like take care of the speeches or the cake cutting without you. Just if it takes that long. But you can send them out there while you're doing something. Like you can just edit 10 to 15 images and it will blow people's minds. Okay. So doing that and I don't have a fancy setup. I don't have like a TV or anything or a projector or anything. I literally take this same MacBook Pro I'm talking to you on and I put photos into the Photos app in the computer and just have what do you call it? What's it? Slideshow. Them literally just going across, no music, no fancy transitions, just literally just showing the photos and being able to show them those like at their table while they're eating blows their minds. Because I never warn them because you don't always have time, so I don't try to guarantee it. But it blows their minds, and then I put that over by like a cake or wherever makes sense. And I have a little metal print is what it's called technically. It's a metal print, but it has a little stand, and it has a picture of me, my logo, and a little QR code that leads them directly to my Instagram. And so by doing that, like the guests and the parents and everybody's like, oh my God, I love this. They scan my thing and they'll follow me on Instagram. And that is, for me, the best way to make sure I keep engaging with them, because you could send them to your website and they're going to forget and they're not going to go back and do what. But if they follow you on Instagram, they might, get to know you personally, and then they think about you later when someone else gets engaged and that type of thing. So that has definitely made things easier and to get more clients from
by them following you on Instagram. Then you eventually go and you post the photos of the couple from the wedding on Instagram, and you tag the couple. Now your photos are going to wind up being in their feed again. You're going to be in their feed the moment that they follow you, but then they're going to come back into your feed again because you're now tagging their friends.
Right.
So it's a big win.
Absolutely, because not even just like tagging, the collaboration feature is game changing. Like if I'm literally just saying, hey, I want to collaborate, because now every time you tag a vendor, it's like, hey, you want to ask them to be a collaborator? And you just say, yeah, whether they accept it or not is fine. No one's going to know that they didn't accept it except you. So it's not a big deal. Yeah. But like the fact that you can collaborate with vendors and the actual couples, it's extremely powerful.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to get to my favorite part of the show. Pick a color.
Green.
By the way, before I forget, you mentioned the slideshows and use Apple Photos. So the TV back here, right? Mm-hmm. That's all that is. You probably notice it's looping.
Yeah.
That is literally an Apple TV on that TV looping that slideshow that's back there. And
it's so simple.
So, okay, green. I'm going to thumb through this and tell me when to stop.
Okay, stop.
Okay. My next question to you is, what was the best present you ever received?
Ever? Wow.
That's
It shouldn't even be that hard. I'm even trying to just think the last time I got a present at all. I think the best present that I ever, it's going to sound like corny and cliche, but a couple years ago, I just wanted to have a pretty basic birthday. Like I just wanted to be in my house, and my friends were not having it. So they flew to my house. And so they all came and they all were like, okay, we're all just going to wear black. And I'm like, but we're not leaving the house. They're like, so? And we were just in my house and we happened to just wear black, and we took a whole bunch of photos and just drank and ate and talked about whatever. And that to me was the best gift ever. Like the fact that they came from like everywhere, like all over the United States to the middle of Virginia. Like it was amazing.
That's a good gift for them to go out, go above and beyond for a friend, and to do exactly what you wanted.
Right.
That's
but
awesome.
Not let me do
awesome.
It by myself.
Yeah. I love it. I wasn't invited.
You were. It was a girls only situation. So don't feel slighted.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Okay. So this is a juicy part of the conversation. I want you to look at your business from a 30,000-foot view down. Mm-hmm. Can you share an outline breakdown of your workflow from lead to delivery?
Yeah.
And you can do it for weddings if you want. You could just focus on weddings.
Okay. Yeah, that'll make it easy. Okay. So 30 feet. Okay. So most of my inquiries come from Instagram. That's just something that I've learned over time. It used to be Facebook, and slowly it just transitioned over into Instagram. And then, so I mean, no matter where an inquiry comes from, though, I don't care if it's a text message, a phone call, whatever. I still make every single solitary inquiry go through my website and send an inquiry through my contact form. Because otherwise, there's always something that I don't have from a conversation on Instagram or wherever. So I force them to go through that, so I have everything in one place. And then my next thing is either getting them on the phone, unless I was already on the phone, but getting on the phone. I have learned that like one of my main love languages is just quality time. And so there are easier, faster ways to book someone, you don't have to get on the phone. You can just send them a video. You can do this. But like, I am still one of those old school people that I want to talk to people on the phone. I personally feel that if you have an issue and you have something that you want solved, if you pick up the phone and someone actually is talking back to you, that like you're going to appreciate that more than anything else. That's why people are screaming representative like in the phone all day long. So I do that. I talk to them, we have a conversation, and then I talk to them and ask them which one of my collections is the best for their day. And so they tell me which one they think is most likely going to work. And I say, okay, well, I'm going to send you a proposal. So I send it via Honeybook, and I give them just a couple of days and check back in with them. And once they book, I send them another email that's like, welcome, and here's a link so that you can book another phone call. Because the next thing we're going to do is talk about your engagement session, because all of my weddings come with engagement session, because that's a whole another rabbit hole I can go down. I'm not. But every one of my collections has an engagement session, and I talk to them about it on the phone. So I have a guide that I send them after. I don't know if they read it or not, but I know you've heard me tell you the things on the phone. So we go like the location, the daytime, what to wear, what not to wear, all of these things. And then we have the engagement session. After that, I have them pick out their favorites so that I know what they loved. One, because if I want to gift them something, like surprise them with something, I'll know which of the photos they like, but also I know what to recreate on their wedding day, like what poses they liked or didn't like, that type of thing. I noticed that they chose more like black and white versus color, that type of thing as well. And then we have like a call, like the week of the wedding, and shoot the wedding. And then after, since I do the same day slideshow, I always send them the gallery with that in it that night, so they can do whatever they want with it too. I always send a vendor gallery as well. So I'm always trying to take pictures of vendors. I don't care that they're like, oh no, I'm still taking them. Now what you do with them is on you, right. But I'm still going to give them to you, because people forget like how incredibly valuable that is, just to have an employee or themselves putting up a flower or bustling a gown and things like that. So I always take those, send that to them as well. And then I have them pick out their favorite 80 to 100 images. And once the gallery's done, because I send it to them via like email, with this long email with all the instructions and what to do and all the things. And then I have them pick out their images, and I design their album. And then I meet with them on Zoom, which is another one of my little touch points, because I got to actually talk to you. Yes, I could have sent it via email and they made notes about, no. We're going to go line by line, be like, okay, how's this page look? Do you want to switch this out? Whatever. And at the end, I mail them their album, and that's it.
Nice. I made note of 2 questions for you based on your workflow. First one is, now you mentioned you don't know if your couples follow your guide that you send them for the engagement part of the job. Mm-hmm. But how often, if you had to give a percentage, how often do you find your couples don't follow your what to wear at all versus they're pretty good?
Oh, I mean, 90% of the time they follow it, what I say.
Nice. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's just a matter of like, I don't know if they also read and like looked at the inspiration.
Right.
And, like, I don't know if they did all that, but there's one thing that I feel is the most important, no matter what's going on or where we're taking the photos. Only one of them can have a pattern on, period. I don't care what else is going on. If someone has a checkered shirt, she has to have a solid color dress, period. If she has a floral dress, he has to have a solid color, everything. And I mean tie, everything, because otherwise it is distracting. Even if it's the exact same color. And I mean, there are exceptions for like African clothing and things like that. That's not what I'm talking about. But like regular just dress up clothes, that's like my main number one concern. I don't even care what colors y'all wear together. If you think it looks good, have at it. But no patterns.
Yeah. The second question I had was, so you use CloudSpot, and you send the images to vendors. I know that some of the other gallery solutions out there actually have a vendor option. I was wondering, does CloudSpot have a specific vendor option as well to create vendor galleries, or do you have to manually do that yourself?
I know I just manually do it Because I mean, I literally just separate the photos from the same day slideshow with those, and I just put them in separate folders. I don't know if they have an option personally. I'm just so used to doing it how I've been. I haven't even
Yeah.
looked into it.
Cool. Yeah, no, I mean that's perfectly fine. I mean, these solutions have so many things that, it's hard to keep track as fast as they push some
You
features
know,
out.
when you make a gallery, like you can select a like the folders that you include versus not including it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about AI for a second. Obviously, you use AI, but you're using AI from Imagen, which is not generative. It's not creating text content for you. It's none of that.
Right.
But I am wondering, what does the future of AI in photography, in your photography business, look like to you?
It looks like I'll be using Imagen for the rest of my days. I don't think there's anything else that like I feel like I need in order to make life easier, faster.
Well, are you using any additional AI tools outside of Imagen right now in your photography?
I'm not.
No ChatGPT or any of those type of things at all?
So ChatGPT was cool when it first came out, and then I think they came out with the one where you got to pay for it. And then ever since they came out with the one that they've got to pay for, and I haven't paid for it, I've been like, never mind. I just write my own caption. So like, no, like I just, I don't know. I'm not at the point where I'm like, oh, I need to get all this information from another source. Like I have always just written my captions and made them personal to how I feel and what I want to get out. And to me, that is the most genuine way to do it. So like I haven't been concerned with like trying to clone myself and have somebody else do this or that and the third. Like I'm just still at the point where I'm like, I'm just gonna be me and I'm gonna post when I can post, and I'm not gonna press myself out about it or like beat myself over the head. And I'm gonna say what I want to say, and that's gonna be as genuine as it can be. So
let me ask you this: we're recording this mid-June, almost the end of June. I'm not exactly sure when this episode is going out, but it's going to be some time from when Apple announced their Apple Intelligence. They're not calling it artificial intelligence, built into their devices. Does any of that excite you for what Apple is planning on integrating into their entire ecosystem?
honestly, it doesn't excite me, but it also doesn't. I'm not like, oh, I don't like AI, go away either. Like I'm just kind of like, I mean, if it's helpful, cool. But like I almost feel some type of way even when I Google something right now, because I Google something and Google has their like Google AI now. So it just drops it down. It's like, here's like what we found. Most of the time it's right. And it's the information I needed. So then I'm like, okay, but then that means I'm not clicking on the links underneath it. So then these people are not getting, their clicks and their credit for their information. So I'm like, that's even going to eventually possibly mess up blogs. Because like if you're looking up a venue, like what do people think about it or whatever, it might just say, oh, the average people think this, and just like fill that in. So they may not click and see people's photos there. Like they still might, but I'm just saying like that's the only thing that I'm kind of like, how's this working out for you to give me the AI information, and I don't have to click on any of the websites.
Yeah, I think the SEO wise, it's going to be a bit of a shift that a lot of people are going to have to start thinking about with how do I now optimize in a way that I can ensure that the AI will recommend me in the search results, because Google does have, click here to visit the source, or how is this result? Was it a thumbs up, a thumbs down? That's the type of signal that's going to wind up impacting the SEO once that sort of comes out of beta and is like officially for everybody in the search results. So it's going to be a bit of a learning curve for sure, but there still will be a way people will figure out how do I optimize for the AI, and then that's just another thing we'll have to do, unfortunately. But yeah. Okay. I know you've been waiting for this moment for the past 20-something minutes. How did Imagen impact your life?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So it has changed my life in every way, shape, or form. The fact that like not a lot of people know, because I don't do a lot of advertising for it, but I also have an associate team. where I don't have to do a lot of advertising for it because of the way that I've structured the pricing. So people come to my website and they go to my contact form, and right above my contact form it says, Michelle starts at 7,000. If this is not like within your budget, her team starts at 3. So like people who have 7 and up are just gonna keep going with my contact form or whatever. But if there's people who are like, oh, okay, I only have 5 or whatever it is, they go to my associate team. So I am not only editing my weddings, I'm also editing weddings from my associate team, and they shoot very different cameras, lenses, all the different things. So even though I got my style down that to a point where it would be really, really easy to just run through like with a preset or whatever, trying to balance out everybody else's, and they're like when their flash went off, didn't go off, all these different things, it has changed my life because I can just run it through my profile and it just makes it really, really perfect to where I just have to go maybe tweak a couple things. That and the straightening, like I don't think people understand how much straightening has changed my life. Because I didn't realize how like a little off I shoot all day long, but like taking 1,000 photos and doing this to them, like it adds up. And then the fact that I don't have to do that anymore, it saves me so much time. Especially because like I shoot with Canon R6s, and because I'm so tall, most of the time before I got the R6, I was like bent over trying to be like level with whatever I'm shooting or whoever I'm shooting. And now that I'm just holding it like lower than me and I'm just clicking, it's definitely not level most of the time. So that has absolutely changed my life and saved me a ridiculous amount of time.
Not only are you tall, but you like to wear heels. You don't wear heels at weddings, do you?
I do not. I do not wear heels at weddings.
Okay.
Every day, but not at weddings. No, I do. And I always switch shoes. So like I start off with like some cuter shoes until the end of the ceremony. And then right after the ceremony, I'm putting some sneakers on and rocking out the rest of the night.
I asked Chris Denner, his episode is out already. I asked him this question. I'm going to ask you this question. What's your go-to sneaker, the comfortable shoe, when you're shooting long days like weddings and you just need the comfort? What's your go-to?
So I have a pair of Adidas, and they're just all black, but the reason that I like them is they don't have strings. Like they have strings, but like they just like are like looped in. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like elasticy type of thing. So I can just like slip my foot in. I don't have to worry about having to tie my shoe at all. I'm just, and they're all just black. Don't nobody pay no attention to them, and I just keep moving.
So I'm gonna blow your mind right now, and I learned something in a TV show or a movie, I can't remember, and I confirmed it. It's not Adidas. It's Adidas. It's 2 words put together. So.
Oh my god. And like, you know what? It's their fault because it didn't take that long for Temu to have a commercial and to let everyone know how to say it correctly. I ain't never heard nobody say Adidas in my whole life.
Yep.
What is going on? They didn't want people to know that.
Our entire childhood, both of our childhoods, are now changed forever.
That's insane, Adidas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And
Michelle, yeah. Thank you so much for hopping in and joining me, especially, as you've just moved and there's a lot of chaos that comes with the move. So I really appreciate it. Where can listeners learn more about you, connect with you, and of course, see your incredible photography?
The number one place to find me all the time is Instagram at mharris_studios. No matter what I have going on and other sites and other this and other that, Instagram is where you can find the information.
Awesome. Thank you so much again. I know there's so much good, fantastic takeaways from this episode, and I can't wait for everybody to hear it.
I'm glad. Thank you for having me.
You have been listening to the Workflows Photography Podcast. To hear more from Workflows, to learn more about our guest, and for an exclusive offer for Workflows listeners, please go to workflowspodcast.com. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.